January 3 and 4, in this 2024 period, we witnessed not a test match, we witnessed a joke of a match. 642 balls, that was it. The shortest ever test match in history had played out between India and South Africa at Newlands, Cape Town. Now, all the attention was going to be on what was the Newlands pitch going to get, and it got an unsatisfactory rating. Now, in normal circumstances, if you look at it, the rating should have been much worse. But it was Rohit Sharma's rant afterwards which raised a lot of eyebrows. Now remember, the Cape Town pitch escaped brutal sanction because of a technicality that happened in November 2023. But Rohit Sharma's rant after the match ended on whether to protect the pitches in India and people should stay shut about the pitches in India, does it really add up? Because Wisden did a statistical survey, they did a statistical article on the pitches that have been used in the World Test Championship from 2019 onwards until now, 4.5 years. Does that back Rohit Sharma's claim here? Because if you have to look at the nature of sporting decks, when you look at Asia, when you look at Sena, it seems as if Newlands was an aberration. But I'll come to what is the situation a bit later. But the rant by Rohit Sharma, is it justified? Because Cape Town, the ICC match referee Chris Broad gave it an unsatisfactory rating. Now, the one demerit point that Cape Town got was because of the fact that only 642 balls were bowled in the entire match, which was one of the shortest tests in history. After this, everybody will say, oh, why didn't get a poor rating, why didn't get all that? If you look at it, one particular area around that good length was a problem. The same situation that happened with Johannesburg 2018. However, not much has been said about the Centurion deck also. We are still awaiting the verdict. What is the Centurion verdict? Cape Town has been given an unsatisfactory rating. Now remember, the ICC, Chris Broad would not have gotten much choices because the technical rule change that happened after November 2023 meant that on these broad parameters, the ICC pitch and monitoring of the outfield parameters which were there, it underwent a big change. If you look at the previous ratings, as I had mentioned, when we are doing about Indore, when the India vs Australia BGT series happened, there were 6 ratings in the previous criteria: very good, good, average, below average, poor and unfit. But in November 2023, the ICC pitch and monitoring outfield underwent a change, and there it has only been restricted to 4: very good, satisfactory, unsatisfactory and unfit. Now Cape Town, if you compare it to the previous criteria, unsatisfactory equals to a below average rating, where there was absolutely no contest between bat and ball. In fact, if you look at it, Markram's century, exceptional bowling, unsatisfactory could have been the best thing that Chris Broad would have given. It is a different matter altogether that India and South Africa's techniques were so poor. India lost 6 wickets for 0, 55 all out South Africa. In the second innings, Markram put up a fight, but no one else did. And that's why an unsatisfactory rating, if you look at the ICC in particular, is actually a fair rating for what happened to Cape Town. Is it a case of batsmen made it look worse than what it actually was? Or was the pitch truly unsatisfactory? It's a case of both. Now, after the match, Rohit Sharma said, I honestly don't mind playing on pitches like this. He's often stated that yes, even if it's a rank turner, even if it's a grassy thing, I don't mind. He's often stated that he's been consistent with the fact that yes, I don't mind playing in these kind of pitches where batsmen are not getting that much of favors. But the next point, as long as everyone keeps their mouth shut in India and don't talk too much about Indian pitches, honestly, this is a problem. When has India produced good pitches? That is the question that we'll have to ask. Maybe 2016-17, where you never produce rank turners to ensure that you got the basic advantage to yourself. Let's admit it. In the 2019 World Test Championship, this is the numbers that Wisden has put out. India's pitch preparation since 2019 has been absolutely shambolic, woeful. Let's make no bones about it. India's pitch preparation has veered away so badly that the concept of even thinking about a sporting deck in India is gone. That is why a lot of people are saying, for example, Mark Butcher from England is stating that yes, maybe the World Test Championship is not helping Test cricket. It is because of these pitches that India and the subcontinent produces. Two culprits in this entire thing, India and Pakistan, where pitch preparation is absolutely zero. Let's admit it. India and Pakistan are united on this particular front, not preparing good pitches, because according to the numbers, in about 18 tests that India have hosted at home ever since 2019, 50% of Indian pitches rated average or lower. Very few have come under the, if you may say, very good category. It's either been average or below that. That is a problem. 38%, if I look at it, 58%, 38% is average, the remainder of the 5 are below average and poor. Indore was the last wicket that was deemed poor, but after much criticism, it finally got an upgrade. 80% of Sena wickets received good to very good rating. Only 70% pitches in Asia are rated good or very good. 80%. If you have to look at Australia, they have corrected their anomaly of 2014-15, where pitches were absolute roads. Now you look at it, much more sporting decks. You look at New Zealand, there if you look at it, in the 2021-23 cycle, which were the two tests that produced absolute thrillers, it was in New Zealand, Wellington and Christchurch. The art of pitch making is very good in New Zealand and Australia. South Africa seems to have gone totally astray. England, they normally don't produce very poor pitches. Yes, they're helped by the conditions, but their pitch preparation is actually good in that sense, because it at least produces results and it's an equal contest between bat and ball for 5 days. So 80% of Sena wickets have been in the very good or good category, only 70%. And India and Pakistan don't lead in this. You'll be surprised as to which country produces the best pitches for Test cricket. In Asia, I am talking about. If you have to look at the below average to the poor criteria, India are only second in the list. The highest, you guessed it, our neighbors Pakistan. They seem to not produce any kind of wicket to help the bowlers. It's just such an uneven contest between bat and ball there. Pakistan have lost the art of pitch making. India is going there. RSA and Australia, if you have to look at it, incidentally, they are the worst in the Sena categories. South Africa is leading the charts. Australia, if you look at the past instances, what happened, especially Melbourne, that did not help their causes. Melbourne was rated poor and below average on a lot of occasions because it was a flat deck. But apart from that, rest of the pitches, if you look at it, South Africa and Australia, very surprisingly, are worst. But which countries produce the best pitches? Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka in this entire 2019 period onwards until this period, they are the highest above average ratings than India. Bangladesh surprisingly get into that. Because remember, Bangladesh often they would prepare ranked turners, but then it would backfire on them. They realize that, and now if you look at it, Mirpur seems to be an obvious digression in that, but Chattogram actually produces good wickets. So does Fatullah to a certain extent. But remember, the sample size when it comes to Bangladesh is quite low, because in the 2019 to 21 cycle, they did not get too many test matches. Here, at least now, they have gotten some tests under their wing. But looking at how it is, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh lead the way, but they play the fewer tests. India and Pakistan play the most in the Asian bloc, and that's why their pitch situation when it comes to ICC ratings takes an absolute hit in that sense. So, Rohit's rant after what happened in Cape Town does not add up. Fine, he likes to play on any kind of pitch, that's his greatness, agreed. But you have to call out the Indian administrators for preparing the pitches that have absolutely backfired on them. Look at 21 in Ahmedabad. Look at that pink ball test match. Look at the test match against Sri Lanka in Bangalore, that was also rated below average. Look at what happened in the Border Gavaskar Trophy in the 3 tests. Forget Nagpur. Delhi, Indore was an abomination, Ahmedabad was an abomination in the other extreme. So, which country produces good pitches? you would have to say at this point, the Sena countries led by New Zealand, they produce very good pitches. Australia, somewhat down the line, because of the high standards that they set, they are also falling foul to it. But Asia, Sri Lanka leads the way, but unfortunately India and Pakistan, their pitches are unfortunately the worst. And let us call a spade a spade. If it's poor, it's poor. Let's not question the ICC on it. If you cannot play on it, you cannot play on it. As simple as that. We hope that in 2024, there is not so much of nitpicking as to the outfield and as to how the pitch is. If the pitch is bad, forget nationalism, it is bad. And in India, 9 out of 10 times, that is the case. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates on sports today. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live. And don't forget, we are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Bye-bye.